Now is Mike Waizman, AI expert and tech blogger, joining us right here.
Hi, how are you?
Mike, good to have you in studio to talk about that. I want to look at just how much we are seeing AI used in this war.
Actually, I was trying to avoid the current situation, looking at it just behind the problematic story. However, it was already officially published. AI was used in several efforts, mostly considering non-lethal weapons using logistics and Air Force, published by several press, and it was discovered already Israel used AI and autonomous technology for guardian and border guarding activities. However, the precautions that should be taken, it was elaborated now in light in recent research by several institutes like Stanford and Georgia Tech Institute, publishing a new research of trying to involve AI in all diplomacy in army efforts, and that was led to a bit catastrophic results. I can explain the last reaction of ChatGPT before launching the Nukes was, "I just want the world peace," and it quoted Star Wars anthem before we're doing it.
That's the problem with AI. You don't know how the algorithm makes its decision. But we're not talking strictly about a decision-making process. It's twofold. You have AI networked traditional weapons, but you also have truly autonomous weapons themselves that are defined on the battlefield. And that second category isn't even new to this war. That's been since about 2020, with Turkey releasing autonomous drone swarms in Libya.
And still, we're more talking about decision-making, and the last decision here, at least in Israel, as it was said, the last decision is still human taken, and the button pushing is still human taken, as far as I know, in all the last decision. However, the whole aiming process and everything could be automated. But still, we're talking about precautions should be taken, and that's the latest research talks about. AI could be involved in whole thinking process and even decision making, but the latest decision, the whole football decision making, should be done by human. But so far.
Yeah, that's exactly the next question. But for how long? When we're talking about technology, particularly AI in warfare, it's about shortening the sensor-to-shooter cycle, how long it takes for a military to respond to an active threat. An AI that can recognize a uniform, that can recognize a weapon, that's trivially easy by today's standard. And if you put a human in the loop, you're going to be slower than an enemy using the same capabilities. So for how long is a human going to be in the loop for?
They're going to be at least for several years, but however, we're talking about new Air Force using without human touch. So it's, I think, in the latest decade we'll see Air Force fully automatically or leading from behind, not without a pilot existence on board. However, it's still problematic and misconfused. We can say in Gaza there were plenty of human mistakes. Giving it fully to drones and automatic system could be problematic.
Let's talk proliferation. The technology exists. The technology exists today. It existed back in 2020 when autonomous drone swarms were dropped in Libya, for example. Israel might have similar technologies. Israel's enemies will eventually have the same technologies. How fast is this going to spread? Where does the AI arms race end?
It stops when commercial precautions taken, but still we can say the drop-off of all precautions. Well, we can say, I think a month ago, AI just dropped the terms that forbid army usage of its AI, and we're talking about commercial use of Palantir software for army precautions and Pentagon and fully software. So I think it could be dropped really fast. We're already seeing drones worked in Gaza by complete terrorists, by Hamas. So the full tech couldn't be used and adopted by terrorists. The problematic is the ethics. The formal army and the government are using the full ethics of humanity and not using lethal weapons on civilians. Our counterparts are lack of this ethics.
We've been talking about capabilities, and sure, we can talk about what an individual drone can do, but that's not really the theme here. That's not the core of a true AI weapons system. The idea is, what does it mean when a weapons system can parse data itself? What does the weapon see? What does it know when it's making its decision? What kind of field of decisions is it going to be capable of?
I think there are lights and borders that already, like they use prompts, like we on our daily usage, that border our targets in between. So if I see green uniform, I see the weapon in hand, it means something. Still, humans are those that use those prompts for guard this AI to have the decision. Still, see and kill. We're speaking about the meme of Shagir of send the rocket. It's still the person that sends the rocket mostly, maybe from a far away from a drone. However, it's a human being that's being the mind behind the army activity.
There is still a human being in the process, true, but is the human being trusting the judgment of the AI? If the AI selects a target based on the AI's own algorithm, and we don't know how the algorithm necessarily works, do we know it's a good target? Does the human being end up trusting it too much and saying, okay, the AI said it's a good shoot, press the shoot button, it ends up being it wasn't a good target?
The results of those research that AI actually proven to be more aggressive than the human mind and less diplomatic. We have nukes, why don't we use them? That's the quote by another AI used in this research. Still, the precautions, because AI and large learning machines are the AI they learning from human beings. They tend to mock us and use to be more aggressive and more dark side of our souls, of human being souls, for tending and predicting our further activities, even in diplomacy. So our AI couldn't be our leader, president, or prime minister soon.
There's the next follow-up question, of course, being the laws of war itself. Certainly there are conventions to govern weapons, and autonomous weapons and AI will end up being on that list eventually, if it's not already under discussion. But who bears responsibility if an AI is being used in a war zone and the AI makes a bad decision?
Weapons or robots don't kill humans, kill using weapons and robots. So the human being is to blame for AI mistake.
The human being who pulls the trigger, but what happens when it's based on the AI's analysis? The AI says there is 100% a threat in this building. There's no threat in that building, and you just kill a family. What's the law going to say?
So we say in the case of human mistakes, collateral damage. Same could be for AI. Sorry to say this horrendous thing to say. However, mistakes happen, always.
That's going to be a very challenging issue going forward. Mike, thank you so much for breaking down the potential threats and pitfalls of our next generation of warfare. Technology definitely advancing faster than our capacity to deal with it as people, it seems. Guided missiles and misguided men, as the late Martin Luther King said famously. That's